I'll be shooting this morning. Do you know his timetable on him to get close?
He's getting closer, but wow, this is loud. But he's still got a little ways to go. Today was actually the first day he's done anything. So he's been doing conditioning and treatment, but today was the first day he's done anything on the floor. So I'd say a week and evaluate, probably. Yeah.
Another week.
Another week.
I know that's it's an obvious question. How good is it to get Armoni back?
Oh, it's great. It's great. I mean, to have depth is important for us. Shooting is obviously important for us. His spirit and having him back around is huge. Just it's funny because when these guys leave, like Alpi hadn't been with us, he didn't come on the trip with us, and Armoni hadn't been with us, and Usman hadn't been with us. And then when they come back, it's like, oh man, I missed them, you know. So to add those guys back to the group, it definitely is good for everybody.
It's kind of you're used to working around them, and you get kind of used to maybe not having them, and they come back. It's a bonus.
Yeah, for sure, it is a bonus on the floor and off the floor.
I realize you're not quite there yet until Alpi gets back, but now you're getting closer to having a full roster at your fingertips. I mean, how does that alter your way of kind of viewing things in terms of rotations and how you want to watch players?
Yeah, it's going to be tough because guys have earned a bunch of minutes and guys have done a good job as far as improving and being ready. So yeah, it's a good problem to have. Depth is always good. Then there's probably injuries coming, of course, like every team has. But yeah, I'm looking forward to having the whole group and seeing what it looks like.
Coach, what advice did you give Gerald?
Oh, you know what? I haven't really even talked to Gerald much. It happened so quick that, yeah, we haven't been able to connect about it. But the one thing is you have to be ready when you've decided that you want to coach. You have to be ready to coach, and you have to get the basketball out of you. And he's been amazing, like during half times, as far as like his knowledge, and I lean on him for, you know, the player side of things. In drills, he gets out there and gets in the drills, and when guys are working out on the floor, he's right there with them. So he'll definitely be missed, but the main thing for him is to be happy, and he's most happy when he's hooping, and that's what we want for him.
How big of a loss is it not to have Gerald no longer on the coaching staff? I know you talked about it just a little bit just now.
Yeah, it's a loss. It's a big loss, but we have a good staff, and yeah, it's a loss. I hadn't really thought about how big of a loss it is, but just because it kind of just happened, his pulse of the team is spot on, and I'll miss that a lot. And I just kind of came to that realization when you asked that question. I'm sure there will be times during a timeout or during halftime where I would have asked for his opinion, and now I don't have that anymore. So yeah, he'll definitely be lost.
Stephen, you probably, it's just your normal course of doing things. You don't even think about it, but he played 12 years in the league. He said just the 2 months he was with you, you taught him how to better prepare for games. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's great. We have a way of doing things. But yeah, that's great to hear. I try to do things in a way that makes sense and have a structure that people can learn from. And for him to say that in just 2 months that he learned a lot about game prep and how to do it means a lot.
Coach, what did you see when you went back to look at the film from the Wizards game?
I saw a team that was like really on it defensively and didn't have lulls in play defensively, that was kind of focused defensively, and we made far less mistakes defensively. Offensively, we were just okay, but we got the ball in the paint a lot and got to the free throw line and that kind of thing. But I was definitely proud of our defensive effort, and more than the effort, like the execution part of it was really good. So I showed that to the group today as far as like, this is who we can be. You know, they had a primary scorer out there. They had Bradley Beal out there, and we did a good job. We came together on our switches. We had a low man. We were on our pick and roll coverages. When we were supposed to switch, we switched. When we weren't supposed to switch, we didn't switch. So yeah, it was good to see.
What's the key to starting games with that type of, mentality, especially on the defensive end? Is it just about the prep that goes in behind the scenes? Is it a mental thing?
Probably a little bit of both. The prep is probably the most consistent and constant thing. We haven't had a bunch of shoot arounds, so today it was good to actually have a shoot around this morning and walk through the plays and how we're going to guard them. But most of it's mentality and focus and concentration. And at times for a younger team, you can lose your concentration. You can lose your focus because you're sometimes distracted by other things, whether it's the offensive part or referees or whatever. So our whole thing is making sure that we're focused and really concentrating, because when we lose concentration, you can see it.
Late game execution was such a thing for you guys all season, to be able to call that last play and have Jalen and Kevin make that read for him to take that final shot after they got the switch. Just was that something that you may have been confident in them to do even, like a month ago?
Yeah, I think so. It was pretty simple. It wasn't since we had to run the clock down so long, we just had to get the ball in bounds, and that was what I was most worried about. So we got the ball in bounds, and then we ran the clock down, and he scoot left 0.4 on the clock. But yeah, it was good execution. Everybody was on the same page, and like you said earlier in the season, we may have had some sort of mess up when it comes to who is the one coming up or where's everybody supposed to be. And everybody was right there in the right spots. And, Scoot made a huge shot, hell of a shot.
Statistically, the Mavs have been pretty good defensively lately. I don't know how easy it would be to evaluate without Porzingis, but what are you seeing on tape?
Yeah, I mean, they're making people miss. They're putting a lot of pressure on the ball. They're in the right spots. They're really trying hard on the defensive end. And when you have a group that's been together for quite a long time, I mean, you think about those guys, most of those guys I coached when I was there, and that was a few years ago. So you have Luka and Tim and Maxey and Dwight and Jalen. All those guys were there when I was there. So that's kind of what we're looking for here, to have a group together for a long time where you can grow. And they were always good offensively, and now coming together defensively. But yeah, they're holding teams under 100, which is crazy in today's NBA. And they've done it 4 or 5 times in a row. Is that right? Five times in a row. So yeah, that's impressive.